If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to the channel, well, you're in luck. You just found a pretty awesome channel for anyone who likes Apex Legends. For the next episode of bringing Apex Legends to life, we're going to be taking a step away from the guns and go into some abilities. So the first ability we're going to bring to life is going to be Caustic's ultimate, the gas grenade, with real smoke. Let's get into it. So the features I really want to replicate are the twist open, the vents inside, and the smoke coming out of the vents. So my plan is to design and 3D print a shell that'll go around a smoke grenade so we can replicate his ultimate. So for smoke effect, I'll be using these. They're Enola smoke grenades, cold fuse, so that way they won't light anything on fire. Basically, you pull this, it starts, and the smoke's slowly starts. It's kind of windy today, so it's not going to form up as nice as you'd want, but it's good enough for a smoke grenade. Like normal, we need to get the size of the object that we're trying to make. For this, we're going to look at Caustic's height compared to the size of the grenade. The lore tells us that Caustic is 6'3" or 109 centimeters tall. As for his ultimate, this puts his grenade about 6.6 inches tall or 16.7 centimeters. Once I had a general idea of what I wanted, I went ahead into SolidWorks and designed this. This is our gas grenade, and we'll send it over to the printer. I went ahead and printed this on my Bamboo Labs P1P in PLA+. I'm mostly using it for its thermal resistance, which will be really helpful with the smoke grenade and with cosplay in general. Once it finished printing, we could pop everything off the build plate. My design consisted of 6 parts. You have your pin in the top. We have the grenade holder and the bottom shell. Our vent system goes right in between. Then our top shell goes on there. Last, our pin and top goes into that. And now we have our caustic grenade. The next thing to do is get rid of some of our layer lines. To do this, I'm mixing a bit of water with acrylic modeling paste. I really like this stuff. I use a bit of water to thin it down so it gets in between the layer lines better. So we just mix that together. And now we can go ahead and start applying this to all of our parts. Once applied, we could go ahead and let everything start drying. While the shell pieces were drying, I went ahead and made sure that our smoke grenade fits into its holder, and it fits in pretty well. Once the modeling paste had dried, I went ahead and sanded it with 120 grit sandpaper and applied a coat of 2-in-1 filler primer. Once the filler primer dried, I went ahead and wet sanded with 400 grit sandpaper. I went ahead and sanded each piece and then I could take them outside and paint them. Once all the parts were painted, we could go ahead and do another test fit just to make sure everything fits once the paint's on. I went ahead and added a bit of masking tape to the bottom of the vents. This was to make sure when I twist it open that it pulls from the top shell and not disconnect the bottom shell. Once the masking tape was on, I could go ahead and assemble everything. It was a little difficult to get the top on initially, but once it was on, it was pretty easy to slide. So now I need to go ahead and set up the smoke grenade inside. To pull the pin on the smoke grenade, I'm using a string that attaches to the lever arm and goes through the upper shell and the vent system, so that when you pull it, it pulls the pin through all of those, and then the smoke grenade can start. This ended up being a very tedious and frustrating task, but at the end of the day, I think it was worth it. It was also really stressful because I didn't want to accidentally pull the pin on the smoke grenade and end up being caustic in my own house. The last thing to do was cut off the extra string, and then our caustic grenade is set up and ready to go test. Alright guys, before we go ahead and pull the pin on this project, I'd really like to ask you to like, subscribe, and if you have any friends that would enjoy this, also share this to them. I'm pushing to get monetized so that way I can make these projects more often, have a little more budget, and make them even more realistic. So if you guys like this stuff, please like, subscribe, and share. Now let's get back to the project. Alrighty, I'm now outside. I got gloves, my paintball mask for safety. Let's try a caustic smoke grenade. So on the first try, the string broke. Attempt number 2. And on the second try, the holder for the grenade broke. At this point, I was not happy, but I was determined to get the smoke grenade going. At that point, I just decided, let's let the grenade shake loosely in the shell and pull. Then finally, this happened. It was kind of windy during this first attempt, and I didn't get the greatest video, so I gave it another shot. And this attempt came out amazing. Now the material did take a bit of damage, but I love the staining it got from the dye and the dent it got from the heat. On the inside there's ash everywhere, but honestly, I love the look of this even more than when it was perfect. String's still on there, so I gotta cut that off, but otherwise, I love the look of this. Overall, I had a lot of fun on this project. There's a lot more stuff I'd like to do with smoke grenades now that I've done this, and I have a little bit of experience with them. If you guys are new to the channel and you want to see the Sentinel video, I'll add a link up here where I built a airsoft sniper rifle into the Sentinel from Apex. I plan to do a lot more, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see these projects, and I'll see you guys on the next one.